Well, now that the Chinese room has some time on their hands, they've dropped Dev Diary 16, the Camarilla. We all know who these folks are. They are the head of the undead. They set the rules for the masquerade and are the primary wheelers and dealers in Seattle, something they've been doing for well over a century. What they don't tell us is, what do they do to keep that power? What kind of things are they into, besides apparently owning every nightclub in the known universe? I mean, if we're to believe TV, novels, and games, every nightclub is either owned and operated by a spy, a high-powered drug dealer, or a vampire. But I digress. I do wonder, however, how much of this we will learn about in the game. It is at least tangentially interesting. How does some vampire actually have money, especially if they're newly minted or wake up from torpor several hundred years later? What if they were morons and invested in the wrong stocks? Alrighty, back to our wheelers and dealers. Writer Cherish Goldstraw and narrative director Ian Thomas give us the lowdown on several prominent Camarilla members. These are people we shall meet, be able to talk to, gain influence with, or become hated by. We start off with Mr. J.J. Campbell, a dapper-looking dude. He's the current prince, so if we're to become the new sheriff, he's the man we'll be working for, or against, depending on how you're playing the political game. This is the most we've seen of this sucker, and their little blurb doesn't really tell us much about his disposition toward us, or anyone else for that matter. Next, we have Lou Graham. We've seen a bit of her in the conversations. So far, she seems like one of those characters that's amiable enough, if not conniving, and I'm wondering if we're not meant to at least sympathize with her on some level. She is the former prince, and from previous lore, she apparently is one of the founders of the Camarilla in this area. Now, Rayung Choi, I'm almost certain I'm pronouncing that name perfectly, /sarcasm, is the court's seneschal. Just for context, a seneschal, from the Middle Ages to early modern period, is a high-level court-appointed administrator. So if old JJ's the C-level dude, she's got one of those top vice president positions. And she's likely the person that's going to deal with all of the day-to-day operations and quite possibly interact with the sheriff far more than the prince, as one of their traditional roles was also in the administration of justice. I will say, of the three, OJJ is the palest. Maybe Lou and Ryong are really working those blush of life skills. Next, we break with the Ventru, and we have Tully, a Nosferatu who is the court herald, or one of the heralds, as courts can have many. In a medieval court, heralds had many jobs, the most important of which was messenger. We'll all recognize Tully from the original gameplay that Hardsuit had produced. And for a Nosferatu, he looks pretty good. In fact, apparently he can go wander around and not break the masquerade, because those normies, they don't really pay attention, and he doesn't look like a grotesque monster. Next, we have the current sheriff, a Bruja named Benny Muldoon. That sounds like a bruiser of a name, doesn't it? We do know that our character is supposed to become the sheriff at some point. So does that mean we beat the slat out of old Benny? Give him the final death? Let's hope there's more than just a boss fight in it. Up next, we have a researcher, Tremere by clan, Sophia Ulusoy, or however you say that. Looks like she might be our absent-minded professor of the group. Question: why does she and Benny wear glasses? A way to be a little disarming when they're really gonna tear your face off? Up next is a Toreador Primogen, Isabella Moore. Might have been a little exaggeration there, but doesn't somebody always have to have the super high collar and plunging neckline? She is essentially our super hip, trend-setting undead socialite, complete with pink eyes. Now, is that a vampire thing or just contact lenses? And bringing up the tail of this group is another Nosferatu, Willem Axel, a secret keeper. He sounds a bit like what they list Tully as being, but hey, you can't have enough people keeping enough secrets. And we'll all remember this dude from the extended gameplay. Unlike Tully, he doesn't like the limelight. He squirrels himself away with his secrets. Interesting to see if we can keep him from blowing himself up as he did in that extended gameplay trailer. So there's a few more of the Camarilla cast. The next Dev Diary drop will be of the Anarchs. So what are your thoughts? drop us a comment below. And remember, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.